Hey, this is a quick little demonstration of the distributed tracing work that I've been doing to instrument the GitLab application with distributed tracing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start the application. Um, but when I start it, I'm going to just add a couple of extra environment variables to let the distributed tracing know that it needs to start. So the quickest way for me to do that is actually just to pull it up in my history. Um, and if I go look here, I think it's this one over there. So you can see I've just told Jaeger how I need it to run, and then my applications will start running. While I'm doing that, I will also start Docker, and in Docker I'm going to run the Jaeger daemon, the all-in-one Jaeger daemon, which is that one, and that'll just start there. And now I'm gonna just open up a browser. Let's just check before I do that yeah, the workers are ready. So that means we can start browsing. Go here, wait for it to arrive, and then I'm just going to browse around a little bit, see what's happening in the application, and maybe click on something. See if this gets here. Okay, so all of what I'm doing there should be getting collected by the distributed tracing system. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the Jaeger search page, which I just know the URL of. And here you can see I've got a list of all the services that have been instrumented. So I'm just going to choose Giddily here. I'm going to go find some traces, and here's something that I did that's a little bit boring because it's a JSON API. So let's go take a look at this one over here, and here you see a trace. So at the top here you get an idea of a sort of overall structure, and then you can see that the first thing that happened was that workhorse got called, and we get some details of what happened in workhorse. And then workhorse made an HTTP request that was obviously to the Unicorn backend, and that's when it hit Rails. And so the first thing you'll notice is that there's quite a big lead from workhorse to Rails. It's obviously a startup application load time, but it might be worth investigating at a later stage. And then in Rails, we get a whole bunch of active record calls. So the first thing it's doing is it's loading this group. We can go take a look at what the SQL is for that. We can see whether it was cached. We get a whole lot of information in there. And over here, we can see that there's a Giddily call. So that's the client side of the Giddily call. That's going to be sent through. And then this is the server side of it. And that's all the details of that. And then after the Giddily call is made, you can see a whole bunch more stuff here. Look how long this template took, 1.12 seconds to render. What template was it? We can see here that it was whatever this is, show. Anyway, and here's a few more Giddily calls that you can see. But anyway, it just gives us like a very good overall view of what happened in this trace. And then we can go back and find other traces. We can search for traces that took more than, say, 500 milliseconds. And there's a lot of search functionality built in here. Anyway, I thought I'd just show that. Thanks a lot.